All right, let's get straight to it. Urza, Chief Artificer. This is MTG Realm Walker with the first deck build for my social media following. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let's get straight to it. Mox Amber, Soul Ring, some non-basic ramp to get this started. Looking at a Mox Opal as well. Obviously, you want a ramp, and 0 is faster than 1, so we'll start going with that. Then leading into the 1s with Mana Vault, Soul Ring, and then into Signets. The main objective here, obviously, is to get your colors and to get those extra bit of ramps, because every little bit helps Urza get on the board quicker. Now, mind you, with him, his affinity for artifacts are for creatures and creatures only. So as long as you're mindful to that, get your colors, get your artifact creatures out there, and get him moving. He has affinity for artifacts, artifact creatures you control have menace, and he produces a construct at the end of every turn. That's equal to the number of artifacts, as you can see all these artifacts here, that are in play. Moving on to non-basics, you're looking at Enlightened Tutor, Sensei's Divining Top, and trying to continue the theme of artifact, and more artifacts, Mystic Forge. That'll let you look at the top card of your library at any time and cast it as long as it's an artifact or a colorless non-land card. Paying 1 life to exile the top will let you filter through it, and trust me, it works well. Some draw cards leading into a Supreme Verdict and a Chroma's Will. These are valid and very useful. Supreme Verdict just resets everything and you can get your stuff back, so it's not the world's biggest deal. Sphinx's Revs for some life, some draw, along with a Tempered Steel to make sure all of your Thopters and your constructs are getting a bonus to that damage. Unwinding Clock and Stronic Resonator are going to be clutch in this. Cyclonic Rift, you already know what it is. Mycosync Lattice turns everything into an artifact, allowing your constructs to just boost crazily. Take a look at this at some point in time, just pause it, look through what I got going on, to include Biotransference, which is an amazing token producer. And then you got your spot removals here. There's going to be a couple other cards that I'm not really mentioning here, but just pause it and take a look. Let me know what you think. Swiftfoot Boots, that's always going to be a plus or a must, or rather Lightning Greaves instead, which I think I may swap out for that, but for right now, this is the build. All right, moving along. Urza, Prince of Krog, and Urza, High Artificer. Following the Urza theme, producing more tokens, and being able to copy an artifact and turn it into a creature, along with giving them all +2/+2. You can't go wrong when all of your creatures, or almost all of your creatures, are artifacts. Research Thief, along with Bronze Guardian and Crypto Thrall. Research Thief will let you draw. Bronze will produce ward for all of your creatures, along with be another construct-like and gaining power and toughness equal to all the artifacts in play. Crypto Thrall. Other artifact creatures you control have hexproof, and just going down the line, preventing damage, stopping your opponents from counterspelling your counterspell because Aethersworn Cantonist stops it. Emery allowing you to dig into your trash and just play from there. Side producing Thopters, Ethereum Sculptor reducing costs overall, along with Inspector or Foundry Inspector. Shimmermeyer gives you that flash into a Master of Ethereum, along with Meyer Battlesphere, producing a tough creature and also more creatures in general, which help your commander come out if he's knocked out, and also produces more constructs, or rather more power for your constructs. Pause it and take a look, but Cyberdrive Awakener is super clutch, along with all of these in the very beginning. As you're building, these become 4/4 flying creatures, and they just really can present lethal when your opponents don't expect it. In order to get to those cards, you have to have the land, so the focus here is to produce a lot of artifacts, and the number of times you play Urza, Opal Palace can be useful, but that depends also on whether he's actually costing you anything in the colorless section. If not, then it won't trigger. Actually, no, I'm sorry, you'll be able to do it because it produces 1 mana in any color. So the number of times you play him, he'll just get bigger and bigger each and every time. And then looking at the rest, the main goal here being to get your colors blue, black, and white, and also to produce as many artifact lands. That's why Treasure Vault comes in handy, because at some point you can literally, when you have nothing else to do especially, or when you have the ability to present lethal but you need a little bit more, you can just tap everything, produce X treasure tokens, and actually pump up your constructs. Your lands, of course, all being artifacts, will help, along with all the bridges. Command Tower for your colors, you know what it is. Your Goldmire Bridge, it's an artifact land. Razor Tide Bridge, bridge on more bridges, just more artifacts upon artifacts. Adakar Waste, pretty much anything that would be able to produce your colors, along with Mishra's Foundry to be able to produce a creature after getting wiped or wiping yourself. So that's always a valid option. And that's the land base. Let me know what you think. So these are the cards right now that I was thinking about putting in. Talisman of Hierarchy here obviously is going to be a little bit more of a better ramp over a Signet, just because of the fact that it produces. You don't have to pay to produce it, just, well, you pay 1 life, but you get that boost and it moves quickly. Skull Clamp, attach it to any Thopter, anything small, anything that's going to die, to be able to give you some cards. Sculpting Steel to rinse and repeat on pretty much anything artifact wise that you have. Mirage Mirror, for me, I think it's a pretty interesting card, especially if you can have a creature that does something epic, and just be able to copy it, and that's pretty much it. It's just a really clutch card that I think is underrated. But moving into Heuristic Study, Mystic Remore, draw power, Anguished Unmaking for spot removal on anything that's getting irritating. Thopter Spy Network, producing Thopters. Time Sieve to take advantage of all the Thopter production, token production, and taking an extra turn, which is really good for these next 2 counterspells because they both produce artifacts. Spell Swindle gives you tokens, treasure tokens equal to the CMC of the spell you countered, and Access Denied does the same but produces 1/1 colorless flying Thopter tokens equal to that CMC as well. Dovin's Veto, just to say shut up and not get a word back in Thopter Assembly, just to be able to drop it and then put it back into your hand if you have no other Thopters. And it works very well with Time Sieve because you just keep playing it over and over, and you pretty much will take infinite turns. March of Progress to be able to produce more also works with Time Sieve, and if not, generally speaking, producing double the number of constructs is a beautiful thing. Precursor Golem, getting more of these guys out there. Fabricate, being able to search your library for any artifact. That's a good tutor. What I don't have here right now is a demonic tutor, but I should. And I think I might actually put one in. But all in all, these are the ones that I'm thinking about putting in. Ojitai's Command. This gives you a little bit more options. I'm definitely a fan of versatility and options with 1 card. I mean, cards being linear, just kind of, or rather situational, leave you kind of stuck, but something like this gives you more options when you need to draw a card or return a creature card. With CMC 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield, you got a good card. Gain some life, whatever works. Return to Dust. I think that's it for right now. These are the options. This is what I'm thinking is going to be going into the deck, so let me know what you think. For Urza himself, share, like, follow, leave some feedback in the comments. Let me know what you think is good. I'm going to read it, I'm going to respond, and I'm going to adjust my deck accordingly. Thank you, guys.